What's going on, you guys? TBR here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another King of Fighters All-Star video. And admittedly, I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning in order to play the King of Fighters 15 so that way I could give you guys a KOF 15 video on the day of release. This has been my plan for weeks now. However, apparently Netmarble decided that today was the day to shatter their own expectations, and we got quite possibly the biggest news dump in the history of the King of Fighters All-Star. Not only is Street Fighter V confirmed to be the next collaboration coming in March, but we also got a new dev note that gave us so much new information that is going to change so many things in this game. And honestly, you guys, a lot of the stuff they say in here is very, very reminiscent of what we've been saying for years now, and this is exciting stuff. We have a ton of information to go over in today's video, and this is probably the most hype I have ever been to make a video like this. I am trying my best right now not to just rant and rave. Let's go ahead and get into today's video, but before we do, make sure if you guys haven't already done so, you smash that like button and subscribe. Street Fighter V is the next collaboration in the King of Fighters All-Star. Let's freaking go. Alright, you guys, so before we go ahead and get into the collaboration news, first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about this new dev note. Now, all of the links to all the things we're about to talk about will be in the description. I'm going to go ahead and read through this thing because there is a lot of information here that we need to go over. So we're going to go ahead and jump straight into it. I'm going to have timestamps available for those of you who are solely here for Street Fighter V. However, I would definitely recommend that you guys sit through and watch this part because this is game-changing, and I am not trying to be funny, and that is not a pun, even though it technically is. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm gonna go ahead and read through this thing in its entirety. So let's try and read here. So up until now, we have been informing you about the upcoming developments through manager Kriz's YouTube channel. However, we have been getting requests for a more detailed layout of our update plans for 2022. Therefore, we are here to lay out some of the update plans for 2022 through this developer's note. Before we begin, we hope that many of you could continue enjoying Manager Kriz's videos and that all of you could count on us to bring out the best of KOF All-Star. After this, I'm getting there. So, first up, we have point 1, content updates. First of all, we want to thank you all for the positivity towards the newly added 2002 story update. The 2002 story was possible because it was within the KOF All-Star universe, and so we were able to create it on a what-if basis. The dev team was happy to see and hear that many of you enjoyed the newly added story content. After carefully going through the comments and feedback for the 2002 story mode update, the dev team was certain that such an update is the true strength of our team. The reviews from most of you made us certain that our goal was achieved, creating a content that differentiates KOF All-Star from all the other games. We appreciate everyone for the wonderful feedback and the continued excitement for what's next. Nevertheless, there were some content in 2021 that the dev team could not fulfill the expectations of our users. To ameliorate such an issue, we are continuously putting our heads together to find a better solution. Down below are 2 of our main bases of what we plan to do to improve our contents. First, we plan to focus on having fun. The Daimos-based content was initially created to provide everyone with a new type of fun, but it was short-lived and didn't quite make the cut. The irregular difficulty, subpar rewards, and repetitiveness, etc. have all accumulated and made Daimos Base a somewhat failed content. Yes, this is true. We will fix such issues and bring a much better version of Daimos Base in the future. For what's coming in the future, we will do our best to learn from our mistakes and focus more on the fun part of each new content. In addition, we plan to look back at our existing content and make improvements to entertain more of you. This is big. A lot more elaboration will go on with that. Secondly, we will do our best to ameliorate the problem of being obligated to tackle on new contents. Since we have been focusing too much on new contents, we have not been able to go back to our older content and neglected them. It's been almost 4 years since the KOF All-Star has been released, and we have seen issues with repetitiveness in content, rewards, challenges, etc. Many of you find this to be more like homework rather than a fun gameplay experience. Thus, we intend to keep the rewards that our players like and change how contents are played and put less burden on our players as to completing challenges and missions. Guys, so point one here. First of all, Dymo Space, they recognized that it was a problem and nobody really liked it once they made the changes. That's huge. Hopefully that means they aren't going to scrap it entirely, and it does come back better than ever. Next, they talk about how they aren't going to be focusing so much on new content as they are going to be improving current content. This is also an enormous thing. We have been talking about this for a while now. There are so many things that they could do with some of these old modes that they haven't touched in forever to make them better and to change things up. Even if they didn't want to just create a whole new mode, it would be time saving and it would be something to where it would freshen up the game entirely. So this right here is a huge point, and depending on what they do with all of the things they talk about in here, this stuff could be nothing but positive. However, they're wanting to focus on fun, and they do realize that a lot of this stuff for a lot of people feels like homework now that we've been in the game for so long. Therefore, this means that whatever they're planning on doing, they have the intention of trying to make it a fun gameplay experience as opposed to something that is going to feel like it's too challenging or it's homework. All of this sounds positive so far, and I know that there's a lot of people out there that have a glass half empty approach to the way that things go with Netmarble. However, again, I will always play devil's advocate with that when it comes to KOFAS. This game is treated a lot better than some of their other games at times with some of this stuff. At least this dev team tries to release this sort of patch note, or dev note rather, and let us know that they realize how we feel about certain things. This is a big deal. Again, take the wait and see approach, but if this is what they intend on doing and they stand by this, this is huge. So that is point one. Let's get into point two. Now, dev team goals for the first 6 months of 2022. So this is basically from here up until probably June or July, guys. So the KOF All-Star PC version was released on 127 in Korea and on 2.7 for Japan and global servers. It's still in beta version. However, many of you have been giving us positive feedback towards our new attempt, and we thank you for that. We are acquiring as much information as possible through the beta service and noting ourselves on what to improve client-wise. We will ameliorate client instability and the inconveniences arising from the differences between mobile version and the PC version. When the actual server becomes active, the inconveniences and instability mentioned above will be fixed and provide you with a better, stable server. We hope that many of you continue loving our newly added PC version of the KOF All-Star and give us as much feedback as possible. So when it comes to the PC beta, this thing has been nothing but a home run in my opinion. Most of us who have been playing it have had minor issues at best. Overall, so far, it's in a great spot. Anything that they can do to brush up and fix some of the little things and the little kinks here and there is only going to make it better. And once they launch an actual stable server, everything should run really smooth. So in general, this is in a good spot, and I'm glad that they did this. This is a huge deal. It's been a huge deal, and I'm glad that they're going to continue to listen to our feedback and work on the things that we tell them that they need to work on there. Now, along with the improvements on existing content, a new content called Dispatch will be added. The dispatch system allows your fighters to collect rewards after a certain amount of period. It's a weird sentence. The more fighters you have, the better it is for the dispatch system. We plan to release the dispatch content in February, so please stay tuned. So as you guys can see kind of what's going on here. You can get these rewards. Look at all that AP, you guys. They listened to us on the AP thing. We've been complaining that we need more ways to get AP. I know a lot of people out there, especially newer and intermediate players who don't have a ton of AP, have trouble grinding all these different rush dungeons and all that stuff that comes out that requires it. World drop events, whatever it is. This is big for them. This is big for everybody, because as you guys can see, what this is probably going to be is you literally just put a fighter in there and pick whatever fighter. So maybe they'll have specific ones for specific things, but basically you see this in a lot of gacha games. You just go ahead and put a fighter in there. After a certain amount of time, the fighter returns with the rewards and you collect them. Easy stuff. This is in a ton of different games. Good system. Glad to see this, and I really like the rewards I'm seeing. I see rare enhancement hammers, I see uncommon hammers, I see plus capsules, I see AP, I see some of the element souls, so on and so forth. Good stuff. Now, furthermore, we are releasing a new PvP content called Dream Match. This content is solely testing your skills as a player, regardless of what rank or specs you have on your fighters. Though through the more pleasant server condition on the PC version, you will be able to enjoy this event content. You are welcome to use any fighter in your database and compete against other players. So basically, sounds like we're getting a new PvP mode. This is going to be exciting for all of you Champs players out there. So good stuff. I'm sure a lot of you guys are excited to see what that entails. Now, point 3, new fighter tier and growth factors. This is where it starts to get a little bit crazy. So, ever since the release of new BS and SS fighters, which are the highest ranked FES fighters, fighters from different years have turned obsolete and gameplay controls have become somewhat less exciting. To mitigate such problems, we are preparing a new system called Change Up, in which you can obtain a special skill to change up the flow of the game. In the next update, we will plan. Now, guys, keep in mind, this stuff is coming in the next update, so this stuff is not far off. We plan to apply the Change Up kit to the new BS fighters, Orochi and Omega Rugal. So all of you guys out there who have been wanting to see Orochi get buffed, all of you guys out there who have been wanting to see Omega Rugal get buffed, it's happening. And the way it's happening is actually pretty huge. And honestly, if they stand by what they say in this post, it might not be cancer. Let's hope. So, the Change-Up Kit will improve the stats of both fighters and give additional skills. The Change-Up Kit can be obtained by using the fighter's memories, and new fighters will have EX in front of their names and rise to different grades of fighters. What is this, Pokemon TCG? What the heck's going on? Jokes aside, I know a lot of people are probably going to freak out about the memory thing. However, they point something out about that. They do mention something about that. They do acknowledge that. We'll get to that. The change-up will not just simply be an upgrade. Rather, it will be a game changer and provide new skills to enjoy the fights better. We intend to gradually make such changes to existing BS and SS fighters in the near future. We will also present to you with new fighters who will not be needing a change-up to align with the changes we are making, and we will limit the amount of new contents and fighters to not overwhelm the players. So it sounds like this change-up thing is going to be a rarity. They're not going to be doing it too often. This is going to be something they're going to slowly do for people, but they're really going to prioritize from the sounds of it. They don't really, I think they're going to talk more about it here, and I'll kind of get to this point, but I'm kind of jumping ahead. However, it sounds like they're really going to be looking at our feedback to decide which characters to do change-up skills with and which characters to just go ahead and buff. So this is huge. If you are a fan of Orochi and Omega Rugal, this is big. Now, EX change-up effects. Once you use a change-up, the maximum awaken level becomes 70, and stats will increase along with the level up. In addition, EX Core Board will open up to further increase stats and EX Boost, which is a special skill, and it will be available to select. The EX Core Board will allow you to choose a skill to boost further. We will also allow stat resets and make it possible to input stat points differently and choose a different skill. Detailed information about Orochi and Omega Rugal's new skills will be further notified in a separate notice. Okay, so this is where we get into kind of what this change-up kit is going to do for your character. They give you guys a photo here with Orochi, so you can kind of get an idea. You see the change-up kit, I'm assuming there, and then you're going to be able to go ahead and unlock that. Now, what is interesting here is this is a base level Orochi right here, and you see that he can go ahead and do this. Does this mean that you don't have to have a fully awakened fighter in order to do this? That's what it seems like. We'll have to wait and see. I'm assuming so. I don't think they mentioned that in here at all. So, but just from judging from the looks of this photo, that's what it seems like. So for those of you who might be worried that you have to have an Awakened level 5 fighter to get to this, it sounds like you may not need to. I don't really know exactly what they're going for, how exactly this is going to work. So this part I'm taking a bit of a wait and see approach on. They try to explain it in here, but there's certain details I'm still not sure on. So basically what they say here, and this is where they get into some of the nitty gritty, right? You will need 3 BS fighter memories in order to obtain the change-up kit for the desired fighter. We realize that obtaining memories through summoning is immensely difficult and time-consuming. It's also money-consuming. So the dev team will present to you limited time Ruby events and events that allow players to obtain the fighter memories. Awesome. Stand by that, make that happen, don't be stingy, this could work. The dev team will do its best not to burden the players with tedious work in order to obtain fighter memories. If they stand by this paragraph, this is fine. If they do not stand by this paragraph, then we're going to have a problem for some players. But guys, take a wait and see approach. Let's wait and see. There's too much to be excited about today. Let's not freak out about the unknown. We'll wait and see how this is implemented. If the day comes that we need to complain about it, we will make a rant video complaining about it. But for now, let's just be excited, because man, this is exciting stuff. We would like to proceed with a survey after the Orochi and Omega Rugal update to see which fighters what our players want. That's kind of a weird sentence. Which fighters our players want upgraded in the next update. Based on the survey, the dev team will come up with update ideas and choose the fighters to be upgraded. We hope that many of you participate in the survey and enjoy the new EX change-up. So there you go, you guys. We are going to have buffs to Orochi and Omega Rugal. However, they are going to be coming in the form of the new change-up system. Again, some of the details on this are murky. However, it sounds like we, from this, are going to get a nice byproduct, which is going to be an easier or at least more ways to get memories for these limited banner fighters. Wow, let's see how they do this. Let's see how they do this. I'm gonna wait and see. But man, so I'm gonna read this real quick just to kind of see this photo here of Orochi. Change-up fighters can increase their awaken level. In addition, their stats increase and EX skills are unlocked. Activates the exclusive core board that upgrades various effects. Your fighter will be awakened with new strength. Yeah, it almost does look like, guys, you're going to be able to use this kit on a fighter even if they're not fully awakened. That's what it looks like here. So I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I'm not going to make any wild speculation in this video. There's too much to go over. Furthermore, a brand new enhancement content called Allstar Archive will be coming along. You can link the fighters with multiple emblems in the archive to activate them, and select the fighter with the better suited emblem to tackle a dungeon when forming a team. The number of links varies by emblem, and linked fighters' growth increases along with the effect of the emblem. So this is something that we see in other gacha games from what I can tell. This shouldn't be anything too rough. This is actually just going to be another way to go ahead and bump fighters, so not really anything that's that big of a deal. We'll have to wait and see what this looks like. We have a small screenshot here, but in general, this isn't anything that's too dissimilar from other gachas. We intend to make use of your fighters who have been neglected due to the appearances of new fighters, and so the newly appearing emblems will become useful. More detailed information about emblems and how to equip them will be in a future update notice. So this stuff, it doesn't mention whether this archive here is going to be in the next update like it does with the rest of this stuff. We'll have to wait and see, but this thing, honestly, not that big of a deal. Should be pretty easy overall. Now, this is where we get into the biggest news of all this stuff, guys. Oh boy, gotta center myself. Last year, the KOF All-Star proceeded with 3 collaborations. Fortunately, many of our players enjoyed all of the collaborations. Some were better than others. The KOF All-Star team will continue to come up with various collaborations in the year 2022, and also various events to live up to our players' expectations. The upcoming release of KOF 15's contract is almost set, and so the KOF All-Star team will do its best to provide various fighters through KOF 15. They are working on giving us fighters from KOF 15. This could mean any number of things, you guys. This is a huge, huge deal. Of course, we have Dolores, we have Isla, we have characters like Cronin. We have all these new characters and all these characters that exist in this game that we don't have in KOF All-Star. We even have characters that have existed for years that aren't in the KOF All-Star. So the fact that they are doing this could mean something really cool down the road. I don't know if they're going to do a full-on like event around these or what. They don't go into any detail. They're still working on the contract. But man, this is exciting. All right, so we have also finished IP intangible property contracts. So the dev team is in the developing stage and finding partners to make new collaborations as well. So they're working on more collaborations. Good stuff. Aren't you curious about what kind of IP it is? Since many of you have been anxious to see the next collaboration, we have prepared a special collaboration page. Stay tuned to find out what kind of events will come along with this collaboration. We wish to satisfy all of you as always, however, we also know that we make mistakes. Nevertheless, we want to thank you all for your continued love and support for King of Fighters All-Star. The King of Fighters All-Star team will continue to work diligently and provide a better gaming experience for everyone. Thank you. Okay, so everything that they said in here was good, in my opinion. Even this, which could be a little bit controversial, because it does sound like they are going to, as a byproduct of introducing this, give us more ways to get these memories. It doesn't seem like this is something where you're going to have to fully max out the character to get that core board or any of these change-up skills or anything for the most part. It sounds like really all you'd be missing out on if you don't have them fully maxed is being able to get them up to that level 70, so whatever. In general, though, we'll have to wait and see how this is implemented. Again, there's too much murky stuff going on there for us to know. All these new game modes, all the other information in here, positive stuff. Working on a KOF 15 thing for this game, also awesome stuff. But with that being said, we're getting Street Fighter as the next collaboration in the King of Fighters All-Star in March. Yeah, guys, so as you guys can see, pre-registration starts March 15th, 2022, seems to be the release. We do not have full confirmation on exactly what's going on as far as who we're going to be getting in here. However, let's go ahead and talk about a few things here. So this is going to be the official website. Like I said, I will have all this stuff linked in the description, but let's go ahead and talk about what else we've got here. So first up, you can get 500 rubies right now. There is a code. It is SFV Collab. Oh, it's a weird one. Collabo. SFV Collabo for 500 rubies. So you've got that. Go ahead and plug that in if you guys want to get some rubies. So with that being said, that is not all we have to talk about here. So basically with this stuff, there is some leaks, right? Now with these leaks, they say that there's certain characters that we might be getting with this collaboration, right? Now, do we have confirmation on any of this? And I have it up on screen. I'll let you guys see it. We don't have any confirmation, but could I see it? Yeah, I could see it. However, do keep in mind that we don't have 100% confirmation on a lot of this stuff. So what we're going to have to do here is pretty much read tea leaves and hope that some of these leaks are potentially true if they're the characters that we're hoping for, and hope that they're not true if they're the characters that we're not looking for. Me personally, I want Cammy. I'm very selfish, and she is my waifu when it comes to Street Fighter. Get off me. However, as far as the characters that we do have 100% confirmation on, as you guys can see, of course, we're going to have Ryu, who is going to be the first character we're going to see here. Obviously, Ryu is going to be a character that we're going to be getting for a Street Fighter collaboration. Who else would it be, right? So we have Ryu there. It goes ahead here and gives you a little bit of information about the character, and then it does tease that we will be getting a trailer very soon. Now, another thing you can see here is a stage, which is interesting. So we get a little bit of a tease there, right there in that little JPEG, but if you click on this thing, it says to be announced. We can't do anything with it. Now, Of course, we have 2 different Chun-Lis here. Either one I'll take because I love Chun-Li as well. This is super exciting stuff. It does appear as though we're probably going to end up getting probably an SS and a regular AS version of this character. I did not time saying AS with that click there, so. But either way, this is what we have confirmed. We have 3 other characters here that are to be announced. Of course, from the potential leak, we can kind of infer maybe who we're going to see. My hope is that we definitely are going to see Akuma. You guys know I've been waiting for Akuma. If there was a Street Fighter collaboration forever, that is something that I am super, super hype about. And then, of course, the other character that could potentially be in there is Luke, which... of course, it's there. It's probably mandated from Capcom at this point if they were going to do a collaboration that Luke be involved. And then there is, of course, going to be the last slot, which sounds like it's either going to be Vega or Bison. We do not know yet. There is no confirmation. We'll just have to wait and see. However, I really hope that it's Bison. I don't think you can do a Street Fighter collaboration and not have Bison in there. To me, that would just make sense. So beyond that, you guys, like I said, we do have this coupon here, so make sure that you guys go ahead and use that. The Street Fighter collaboration is confirmed. We can finally stop badgering Netmarble about it. That's going to be today's video, you guys. So I hope you found this informative. I hope you're all as excited as I am. Lord knows that I'm excited. So let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about all this stuff. Are you as excited as I am? What do you think about the new dev note? Are you worried about some of the stuff that they announced in there? Are you excited for some of the stuff they announced in there? Let me know in the comment section. Like I said, I'm taking the wait and see approach. For me, it looks promising. It looks like it could be great, but it always comes down to implementation. So with that, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and play the King of Fighters 15 because today is finally the day. So with that being said, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. You all take care. Tomorrow is the podcast with Forgo Nation. It will be here on the channel, so keep it locked here and check it out. I'll talk to you then. Peace.
Continue.